Hunyuan poses the greatest threat to Photoshop ever. Manus has integrated an image generation model into his super agent. One introduces WAN Vace, Alibaba's most precise and best video model to date, along with news from KlingAI, OpenAI, ChatGPT, Claude, Abacus, ByteDance, Microsoft, and so on and so forth. And with that, welcome to the fastest AI news on YouTube. Once again, we have a few topics that we'll discuss in detail, and then we'll move on to over 20 topics that we'll power through here, short and to the point. It's going to get really wild today, friends. Let's see how the cappuccino tastes with these AI news. We're diving right in. Let's go. Tencent has released its HunyuanImage 2.0, and I got access to it. I went into detail about it in a video. Now I can actually test it, and I'll quickly show you what you can do with it. So you upload an image here, select the brush, and then, for example, I can draw a pair of sunglasses. You know how it goes? And it gets applied in real time on the right, and down here I type in sunglasses. Okay, that's pretty cool for a start. But you can also use an eraser and, for example, remove the steering wheel, and then she's holding her hand instead of the steering wheel. I'm definitely going to test this a bit more in depth, but that's just a quick look for now. We'll find out everything HunyuanImage can do. It's really cool that I was able to get access. If you'd like to support me, I'd really appreciate a like right now. Let's continue. Next, Manus, one of the super agents, has integrated an image generation feature that tempted me to use it for my fresh run as well. Here, I gave the following prompt: generate an image that simply visualizes the function of ATF along with a slide that explains it. He generated an excellent slide for me and left space for the graphic he created. And of course, you can do this with 20 slides if you want. Not bad at all, and the wording is perfect too, except that it doesn't have any German characters, but I can add the 2 dots for the U myself. Really good stuff. We'll definitely do a deep dive with Manus as well. Right now, I'm still at Gans Park, but I've discovered a new agent. There will also be a big deep dive on that this week, specifically on Abacus Deep Agent. There will be a detailed video about this over the course of the week. This is also an agent with the superpower to use different models, like ChatGPT's image generator, DeepSeek R1, and others. This super agent from Abacus, the multi-model platform, will be put through some serious testing. Next up, WAN has now fully released his Vace. This one launch video is made entirely with WAN Vace and shows the impressive possibilities it offers. It's a real story, a story told in a single style, and you can do outpainting and post-transfer, so you can change something in an image, you can edit videos, you can make this elephant float, use motion control and image reference. Then you also have video editing, post-transfer, and image reference. That means you can change the subjects in your video, you can alter the backgrounds, all within a single tool and with post-transfer image reference, which basically means the dog can dance instead of the person if you change the subject. Very impressive, and it will definitely be tested as soon as it has reasonable requirements for a PC. Wanse is one of the best models you can install locally. It's from Alibaba, and with Vace, they've now released a one-for-all tool that lets you generate videos, sounds, and all sorts of things. On the GitHub page, there are many examples that are truly jaw-dropping. I'm really curious to see when that's coming. I hope there will be something like FramePack for the WAN model, because it's actually a pretty good model. Do you want to try it out? Is there something like a Chinese hugging face where you can test it or you can install it locally? We'll make a video about the local installation. For now, I'm curious to see when there might be a quantized version at Pinocchio that works with low VRAM. Next up, Stability AI. The company behind Stable Diffusion has now also released an audio generation model. It's a solid audio module that can also generate sounds, but the sounds generated here are actually pretty cool. You can download the weights from Hugging Face or GitHub, and they have created their own license for how you can use it. As soon as it's available, we'll take a closer look at it. From the presentation video, you can tell it's solid, but nothing groundbreaking, right guys? Kling has a new feature. At KlingAI, the new or latest features are always highlighted in green. And now there's a remove option in image editing. In image editing, you can navigate to remove on the left, and here you can use a brush, which you can enlarge here to remove things. 2 outputs cost 4 credits. Let's try removing the backrest from this cart that Banana is currently driving for fun. And these are the 2 results. Well, it's okay. Okay, a new attempt. Let's take a real object that can be removed, namely the banana here. We'll remove it now. All right, Let's see if this time it worked really well. So if you just remove a real object, it actually looks pretty good. Both results are solid. Here, the hair still looks a bit weird. Cool. Next up, there's a new Photoshop killer on the market. It's called Lovart AI. I've just gotten access to it, tested it, and tried editing this image with it. So the idea is that you can change an image using text prompts, but you also have tools available. Here, I told it to change the background to a beach, and it took several minutes and several attempts. It didn't work here and there. Several approaches didn't work. And finally, it generated a background, then generated another background with flax and banana girl cutout, and placed them on the beach, and this is the result. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. I entered the same thing into Sora. This is what it looks like. Much better, even though Banana Girl wasn't transferred 100%. But I'm also going to test this Lovart a bit more thoroughly. I find it quite interesting. Let's see what's possible with it. So friends, those were the topics we discussed in a bit more detail. Now things are taking off. Now it's going to get fast. The TikTok parent company ByteDance released Seed 1.5 VL, an image-based language model, which basically means you can upload images and it can explain a lot about them, like where something is, at which location. It can count the strawberries if you upload a picture. That's not all that impressive, but for example, a riddle like, which movie does this remind you of? That works quite well too, and it says Independence Day. Real use cases would be more like it scans your surroundings and helps you find things, maybe helps you cook something, points things out to you, or reminds you in the evening where you put your keys. A very interesting model. You can try it out on a Chinese website called Volt Engine. I didn't really figure it out here, and it's not working at the moment. What do you think about these I'm watching you all the time and explaining your surroundings models? Feel free to write it in the comments. Next, we have some news about ChatGPT. ChatGPT 4.1 has been released, so the next version of the 4 series model, which is bigger, better, and stronger. It's a bit more powerful than the 4.0 model, and you can select it up here under More Models. You can choose it here. OpenAI's deep research, meaning in-depth research and reports, can now be exported as a PDF. OpenAI has also released Codex, a text-based software development language model that is specialized in being your personal software developer. A very interesting announcement, and we will definitely be working with it more in the future. The only drawback with ChatGPT's Codex is that it's only available in the $200 package, but if it really is a genuine software developer that can build everything for me, that would be a bargain. Let's just wait and see for now. ChatGPT has acquired Windsurf, and Windsurf has now released its own language model. So with Windsurf, you can also do development. Previously, you would choose a model like ChatGPT to do development. Now it has released its own models, SWE1 Lite, SWE1, and SWE1 Mini. Very cool. LTX has released a distilled version that runs with little VRAM and can create videos very quickly. I've already done a deep dive on that. Now I'm just waiting for approval so it can be released. And we've made some great videos about it. We did the standard tests with Amazonan.org fights, and we also tested whether Banagal is the banana. That will be coming out during the week. If you don't want to miss it, make sure to stay in touch. Google has developed a concept for a light AI that's really impressive. This video presents what it can do. You can control anything that's even remotely a lamp, make it brighter or dimmer, and for example, also create ambient lighting. So you upload a photo and it automatically detects what could be a light source in it, and then you can adjust and color it. Pretty cool. It also works with small objects. Notice here how perfectly it handles the shading as well. This is a really nice example. When the lamp on the left turns on, the light comes from the left and the shadow is cast to the right, and vice versa from the right. And if you turn on both, the shadows even cross over each other. I think that's actually more impressive than it looks. I think it's really cool. Light Lab by Google. An absolute highlight of the week is Google's Alpha Evolve coding agent for advanced algorithms for Google Gemini. It helps you create complex things like complicated software, but it can also be used for research projects. Very impressive. An absolute sensation was Absolute Zero. This is an AI that wasn't trained but taught itself everything. You have to imagine it like this. Normally, large language models are trained. That means they get all the data from the internet and are supposed to learn from it. And this thing didn't get any data from humans at all. Instead, it was given the task to learn things and set off on its own, learning, for example, chess and similar things. A very big announcement, which we definitely need to talk about separately at some point, but I just wanted to mention it quickly here. There is now a Lego GPT, which basically means you tell this language model, this AI chat, what you want to build with Lego, for example, a classical guitar, and it gives you instructions on how to do it, including which bricks you need. A very interesting, cool announcement. 11 Labs, the speech synthesis giant, has released a soundboard. With the soundboard, you can create sounds like this one, rain, heavy rain, your own. Creating your own sounds, that's the cool part. You go to animal here, click on empty, and here you can, for example, write an owl goes hoot hoot, and then it will generate the sound. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, that's an owl, right?
They say, an owl goes ooh hoo hoo soundrious.
You should describe your sound effect, and it can't manage it. Okay, seems to work very well. Claude AI is working on Claude Sonnet 3.8, one of my favorite large language models, and is working on even stronger reasoning and on an agent. Google CEO Sundar Pichai, is his name Pichai? What is his name, actually? Okay, Google CEO Sundar Pichai isn't afraid that anyone will disrupt Google. Maybe you're also one of those people who use Google less like me because you use AI much more, but he's totally relaxed and says he can't stop disruption anyway, so you just do your thing and don't try to fight against it. Google search will probably be different, so there's no point in resisting it. Right now, there are already these Gemini results instead of the usual Google search, but Google has also released some incredible AI models. One big breakthrough after another every week. So I also don't think Google will have a problem with this. A very interesting piece of information about Microsoft. Microsoft is much more deeply involved in the AI world than we all think. After all, they own 49% of OpenAI, which currently accounts for about 80% of the AI market. Then OpenAI bought Windsurf, and both Windsurf and Cursor use Visual Studio Code, which belongs to Microsoft as the foundation for AI coding, and OpenAI has also invested in Cursor. So Microsoft is even more deeply involved in the AI coding world than is perhaps publicly known. Well, good thing I own Microsoft shares in that regard. Also interesting, the Chinese video platform BiliBili has now launched its own anime video AI. It's the ultimate open source anime video generation model and is called Anisora. So for anyone who has always wanted to create an anime, it's very interesting that BiliBili is now also getting involved in AI generation. It really does look cool if all of this is now generated by AI. I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference from real anime at first glance. Very interesting stuff. And that's it for this week's news. Way too much. If you don't want to miss anything, feel free to join our community Discord. There, we have a channel for AI news where everything new gets automatically posted. Which of these news items affects you the most, will be most useful to you, or is on your mind the most? Feel free to write it in the comments. Friends, the cappuccino tastes like an exciting week with lots of small releases and also a few big hits. I'm already looking forward to the deep dives we'll be doing on these topics. Did you enjoy the video? Feel free to support me with a like. I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Until then, feel free to check out one of these two videos because I think they're both good.